Thank you very much.
Sorry? Stick around.
I can only stay for a couple minutes.
Huh?
I can only stay.
So we're going to try to get Julius to stay for a few minutes because we have two other speakers, and then if we can get him to stick around a little, we can have a unique dialogue. You rarely get these three people on the same stage. So why don't Karen and Chris come on up here right now. I'm going to introduce you guys briefly, and then if we can get Julius to stick around, you guys can ask some questions. Again, I just want to say, as Karen comes up, and Chris, why don't you sit down over there? I'm going to play the school teacher role that I normally do. Okay, if you guys sit down, Karen's going to be next. But I do think we're going to get a chance to have three really unique leaders representing major league players in this space. And let me introduce Karen right now. And just say one more thing is, boy, are we lucky that Julius is the chairman of the FCC at this moment in our time. So thank you, Julius. Okay, Karen has been doing this for an incredibly long time too, and she is a mother. She has also had an extraordinary background both in the public and private sector because she was an educator for many years and then went to Apple Computer, where she was one of the key people in Apple in terms of shared teaching practices on the Apple Learning Experience, and was basically director of leadership, education, and advocacy at Apple Computer. So she has the background as a mom, as a technology expert, and as an educator, and now she has just been named the director of the Office of Education Technology at the U.S. Department of Education. And one of the obvious things that's going to happen with a visionary FCC chairman like Julius and a visionary education secretary like Arnie Duncan, who is Karen's direct boss, is that the FCC and the Department of Ed are going to start working together and building true 21st century classrooms. And the woman who will be in charge of that at the Department of Ed nationally is Karen Cator.
Hello, and I'd just like to start by saying I'm really, really happy to be here with all of you. I've been listening in for the last several hours, and it's truly an exciting time, exciting place. I actually have, now that I'm at the Department of Education, prepared remarks because we have, bloggers and Twitter and all that kind of stuff, right? They want us to, we have the right sentences to say. However, I'm going to throw that out because we definitely want to get to Q&A and have interaction with you. But let me just go through just a few comments. First of all, education is incredibly important to President Obama and Secretary Duncan, obviously. This is the President and the Secretary both consider this a civil rights issue and really the social justice issue of our time. So we're really, really focused on creating the best possible learning environments for this generation of students. And that means looking forward, it means figuring out how to leverage technology, it means figuring out how to leverage innovation, design, and the best thinking of the day to really create entirely new education environments for our students. So I want to just kind of go through a few quick challenges. We've heard a lot about challenges and opportunities. I do want to highlight the challenges. According to current data, 27% of the young people in the United States drop out of school. And that jumps to about 50% when it comes to African American and Latino students. There are some 2,000 high schools in the country that produce half of our nation's dropouts. And 3/4 of the dropouts of low-income students. We have what we would call a burning platform in education today. We have way too few students graduating. We have way too few students ready for college, for the workforce, and for citizenship. And we need to completely reimagine how we're teaching our students. So to achieve the goals of reimagining education, we're going to embrace the strategy of innovation, with prompt implementation, continuous improvement. We don't have the time to continue with kind of the reform agendas that have been taking decades to implement, right? We design something, it takes a long time, and we evaluate and we study and we research. We need to begin to do rapid turnaround, rapid transformation, continuous improvement, learn immediately from data. So there are a lot of things happening. I think you all know about the race to the top, the investing in innovation grants, the fact that we have 48 states now that are committed to creating a common core of standards. These things will all allow us to truly innovate. But what I want to do really quickly is jump straight to the National Education Technology Plan that actually will, timing-wise, coincide and come out nicely coordinated with the FCC plan. So I joined the Obama administration about 2 months ago, and very soon we'll release a draft of the National Education Technology Plan. It's just the third such plan in the nation's history. So this plan has goals, recommendations, and actions for a learning model that's informed by the latest research and powered by technology. a new kind of way of thinking about learning. Advances in the learning sciences, cognitive and social sciences, and neuroscience give us valuable insights into how people learn. And technology innovations give us the ability to act on those insights as never before. So there are 6 points that I want to talk about in terms of the plan and how we're thinking about learning. So first of all, specifically about learning, the content and the skills that kids need to learn, as well as that they need to know how to learn, have changed, and therefore the learning experiences must follow suit. We have the opportunity to truly personalize learning. And when we talk about personalizing learning, it's the fact that every student will have the kinds of environments and experiences that will mean something to them. Not only will they be individualized, right, and kind of everybody learning the same kinds of things at their own pace, or differentiated, but also be personalized, connected to their prior experience as we never have been able to do before. Second of all, with assessment. Our efforts to collect data have to be active and forward-looking rather than passive and backward-looking. We have to evaluate students in schools in order to identify ways to continuously improve what we're doing rather than simply catalog what was or wasn't learned. The third is about teaching. And the concept of what constitutes teaching has to evolve into something that looks much more like teachers rolling up their sleeves and collaborating right alongside students as they complete complex projects, as they grapple with tough problems, as they work on online courses or through simulations or with visual images or whatever to work with their students in that way. The fourth is infrastructure. We need to build a comprehensive infrastructure for learning, including the organizations, the peoples, the processes, and the technology, so the learning experiences and resources are available to each and every learner all day long, on demand. The infrastructure does have to include broadband everywhere, and we're hoping the FCC will pull through on that one. Inside school, outside school, in students' homes, so that they truly can learn 24/7. We know the kinds of, even the things we've been talking about today, the kinds of things that students do outside of school are incredibly powerful, and we need to figure out how to connect that formal and informal learning environment to the betterment of our students' education. So to do that also, we not only need broadband everywhere, we also need devices 24/7 in the hands of students and teachers so they can do the work of teaching and learning in the 21st century. So finally, productivity. We're really looking at the challenge that we have, revenues going down, there's not more money coming into education, we're going to hit a funding cliff. And so how do we think about an incredible boost in efficiency and productivity so that we can meet the needs of way more students? This is what we need to do. This is the work that we need to do. And to do so, we really need the last thing, which is a huge investment, a solid investment in research and development. We need to plan and fund intensive research so that the kinds of things that we know that are the grand challenges, the kinds of things we know are possible from either the gaming industry outside of school, from the kinds of things we've seen in businesses and around all sorts of places, we know those kinds of things are possible, and how do we solve those grand challenges and create these environments inside of school? For example, could we create learning environments that learn along with students, kind of like the genius function? Can these things begin to understand the kinds of systems and the kinds of learning opportunities that will help kids along the way? Can we design assessments that actually assess what matter, the kinds of skills and the kinds of things that we really want students to learn? Assessments that are valid and reliable and that people can count on so that we can get beyond the kind of paper, pencil, fill in the bubble sheet, content-based standardized tests. So these are just some of the things. I'm going to jump off here because I know we want to have time for Q&A, but I am really excited to be at the Department of Education. We want to launch our National Education Technology Plan in a draft form online so that all of you and everyone can add stories, add research, add data, add ideas, kind of in an idea sourcing type of manner. So we're working on that, and we're hoping to have that out in the near future. Thank you very much.
Karen, thank you much.